everybody, and welcome to PoliTarology. It's Friday night, and I'm here not only with the gang, but with count them, three special guests tonight. So let me introduce everybody. Over here is, this way, is Gerald from Tarot Stash. And then
Yay, Gerald.
to my left is Marina from Heart Center Tarot, just one of our special guests. And below her is Val from Dragonfly Crystals and Next Level Channeling. And then right below me is Sherry from Voices from the Swamp.
Hey, Sherry.
Yay. And then underneath Gerald is Mel Doerr, Aloha Shirt Psychic. Hello. And at the very bottom is Linda G, Comanche Psychic. So welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for coming tonight.
Never heard of her.
Yeah.
Who?
So,
Yeah.
in the description box of this video, everybody's link to their channels will be shown. So you can go to each person's channel, subscribe, share, thumbs up, do all the YouTube-y things. And of course, all of us want to get more subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed to all of us, please go on, because we're pretty cool. We're actual psychics, you know.
And I just went over 2,000. So yeah.
There we go. There we go. So we want to try to keep this show to 1 hour tonight. And I know everybody in the chat is probably thinking, yeah, right, Colleen, you're never going to do that. That's not happening.
There's a first time for everything.
Yeah, there is. And we're in Mercury retrograde and the eclipse is coming. In fact, we're in between the eclipses. And so it is possible. So I'm hopeful and optimistic, and I'm really going to try.
I'm going out to Texas on Sunday.
Are you? I'm leaving Saturday for Watertown, New York.
Well, I'm not going for the eclipse. I'm going to get me a real cowboy.
Oh,
yeah.
Do tell. The rest of you just go away. Tell Linda.
You know who I stole that from? Remember Deborah Winger in Urban Cowboy?
Yeah.
I got me a real cowboy.
Nice. Very, very nice.
Gary and I are leaving Sunday, and we're going to go down to Springfield to see Lincoln's home. And then we're going to Carbondale on Sunday to see the eclipse. It says it's partially cloudy. I'm like, last time we went to one in 2017, it rained.
Oh.
But we
You're
experienced
talking a major storm system coming through here Sunday, Monday. I'm hoping it just clears up enough.
Where are you at, Sherry?
I'm in Louisiana. I'm in the 95 percentile range.
Chicago was, I think, 92%. But in
Yeah.
2017, we didn't see the actual eclipse, but we experienced it. In other words, it got dark. And it's really weird. It's the weirdest kind of dark.
Oh, I love it. I like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
I
The
saw
last
one in Oregon.
eclipse-
I took the boys. I said, yeah, I'm just taking the boys, whatever. Because my son is sort of an astrophysicist type. And, you know, I thought, yeah, I'll take care of everything. I was so overwhelmed. It brought tears to my eyes. It was so profound that I told my kid, next time I'm going with you, wherever it's at.
Me too. In 2017, when it got dark, it's like this weird kind of dark. It's like a translucent. And you look out and you can see the light over the horizon. And I cried. And I go, what is wrong with me? And I was reading about it today. And they said a lot of people have an emotional experience when they experience it.
Yeah.
I just thought the antidepressants had wore off.
Yeah. Well, that could have been too. Plus, I just found out there's also going to be a comet called the Devil's Comet.
I saw that. Yeah.
That will be visible during the eclipse.
They
said it's
on
in
the
like
left side of the sun.
Yeah. So if you look to the left, and I think almost any time during the whole process of the eclipse, then you might be able to see it. And somebody in the chat asked if it was good to put your crystals out during the eclipse. It's going to be dark, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think it would hurt anything.
No, it wouldn't hurt anything, but it is going to be, you know what? I'm not going to, because the eclipse energy is so extreme. It's so dramatic. So I don't know if that would be a good thing or not. You know,
But you know, when we were there, I just felt the energy of the people around, and it didn't matter about politics or anything. It was just so
Everybody
electric
was
in a
so
good way.
kumbaya.
Wow.
it's the original global event that everybody can share.
Yes.
You know,
Well,
that-
that might be a good time to put the crystals out, because they might absorb some of that positive energy going on.
maybe, although this eclipse has a lot of really harsh astrological stuff attached to it. Not that it's going to be like the end of the world or anything. But there will be events.
It's got some pull to it. I think that could be why we have the 4.8,
Yeah.
4.9, they're saying now in New Jersey.
Yep, I had it. I was sitting
Yes.
in my office and I'm like, whoa, I know what this is. This is an earthquake, y'all. And people are like,
I'm also picking up
"Oh."
another earthquake coming to anywhere from Texas to Oklahoma. But they tend to get them, but I'm feeling that.
Yeah, and New Jersey doesn't tend to get them. I've
No.
noticed maybe one or two since I've lived
Yeah,
here.
when I saw that this morning on my Google feed, it popped up and I went, an earthquake in New York? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been all over MSNBC. I said,
Yeah.
you all are pussies.
Well, I'm from Seattle, so I
Come
thought
on
the
over
same
to
way.
California. Come
I mean,
on
when you're
over
from California, you expect
That
it.
deserves a
I
fan
grew up with
club.
You haven't lived until you've seen a highway go like this in an earthquake.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
Well, in the last
Well,
one I
Linda?
was in, it was the Bay Bridge collapse.
Oh.
And that overpass fell. In fact, at my hospital, we brought that, what was his name, Butch or something, the one guy that survived. And then they transferred him to another HMO and he died as soon as he got there. But I can't
Now,
remember.
Linda,
Oh, no.
what was that you said those people were?
Putty cats. They're putty cats.
There are people who are commenting in chat that do not put your crystals out. There are people who have said
Oh,
Yeah,
don't do it.
yeah,
The energy's too whacked out.
Yeah, I would be wary of
That's
that.
interesting. You picked that up. That you shouldn't put it out.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Can I put my jewels out?
Only if you,
Your family jewels.
only if you want someone to touch them, Mel.
Yeah.
Hey, Mel, I have tiny hands. Everything looks bigger with tiny hands.
Try it.
That's right.
Oh,
And on that note, folks,
yes.
try to do some
Do you have? Mel, I'm going to order you one.
Yeah.
I couldn't pass that one up. I'm sorry.
I don't have a fan like y'all do.
Nice.
Man, we need to get
That
that
works.
man.
That works. All right, let's get into some questions. And the way it's going to work, so the people in the chat know what's going on here. No, I'm not ignoring anyone. We are each going to take one question.
Yeah.
And then when we get close to the 1 hour, we may not get to all the questions. I hope we do. But we will definitely all talk about the questions and, we'll put in our 2 cents worth. So this first question is about the New York Attorney General questioning Trump's $175 million bond deal with, what in the heck is that guy's name? Pinky?
Yes.
And I don't know his company's name, but how long okay, so this is going to go, let's start with Marina, if you don't mind, let's start with you.
Sure.
Okay, so
Sorry.
how long will it take to determine if this just won't work, if they can never cure it? And will Letitia start reclaiming Trump's assets
Sorry. I can't
before
get-
June?
Shut up. Sorry.
You know what? Yeah, my feeling is that yes, she will, because, and I think I've said this before, whenever someone is going to put up that kind of money, what the government wants to know is, in this case, Donald Trump, would he be compromised by accepting money from a particular person, company, country, whatever, because then if he becomes president, he is beholden to the person who saved him. So in this case, and it was, I think it's Knight Securities or Knight
Nice.
something.
Yes, that's the name.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
And the guy he's got ties to Russia. He's got ties to oligarchs. Not only that, but he also holds the outstanding loans on a couple of Trump's properties, like the Trump Tower and the Doerr golf course. So he is definitely beholden to this company, to this person. So that's why they're investigating it, I think. And they want to make sure that if the money is there, that it's clean money. Not only that, but these people have said, yes, we'll put up the bond. You want to make sure that they have the money to put up the bond, right? So they need to show that they're financially solvent and whatnot. I think that they're going to find over the next maybe week, 10 days at the most, that no, this is not going to be acceptable to anyone. He's going to get very close to the day that the time is going to run out, and Letitia is going to start coming in and seizing accounts and different things, because Trump may say, "Oh, I have 400 million." No, he doesn't. No.
I heard Letitia James say no.
Yeah.
No to the bond.
No to the bond. There's something really up with it.
And then is he stuck? He can't do anything after that? Or
Well,
could
he
he
can
find
try to double dance again, but I see her just going in.
Yeah.
It's like they're almost accusing them of fraud, like they committed a fraud by pretending like they had something when they knew they didn't.
That's what I
And
was
shame on
trying to
those
do.
attorneys for letting it go through. They knew better.
Yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
And say he did get it with this guy, and then say he did get elected, which I don't think he will, but just say he did. What the hell would we do with a compromised president like that that's Trump? How
Yes.
the hell would we control that or get him or, stop him? Would
But
the
you know what,
president doesn't
Colleen?
have security access? That's cuckoo.
You know what, Colleen? He's already compromised. He was from day one.
He
Yeah,
was
I know.
And I had predicted that there would be an investigation of how Trump got the money and whoever backed him, and here we are. I don't see Letitia James allowing it, whoever it is. I don't think the insurance company has the amount of money to cover the bail or something. There's a problem with it, and the paperwork wasn't done right. So,
Well, apparently,
we
Letitia James is
misstated.
saying this guy didn't have any right to work through the state of New York.
Yep.
right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the most polite thing she can say about all of his stuff, because everything was, excuse me, hinky about the whole thing.
Yeah.
It was
I gotta turn my oven off. Sorry.
okay. So Cleo, real quick, I
Hi,
want you to know, hi, welcome. Everybody's taking one question, and then we can discuss, like we are now, because we're trying to keep the show at 1 hour tonight,
Yeah.
because everybody's got to go in an hour. So hi, I hope everything's okay.
It's all right.
Okay, great. All right. So if we don't have anything else to say about Ms. James and the $1 million or $175 million bond deal, I will move on to the next question. So this is going to go to Val. Now this says, the headline said, did I make a question here? Yes, I did. The headline said, I love this. Traders are betting millions that Trump media will tumble. So people are actually buying things. I mean, however gambling works on the stock market and securities, whatever it is, they're doing that and they're betting against Trump. So I don't understand how any of that works. So I won't even try to explain it, but the shares are way down. So this means they've already lost $2 billion in market value in the company. Honestly, I don't even think this company is a $2 billion, but whatever. So I could go on and on about all this short selling stuff, which again, I don't understand. So I'm not even going to try. But my question is, will Trump suffer more financial woes because of low stock prices? Will he have to dump his shares to get a hotel room because he won't have anywhere to live? Or will he get Melania to hawk a few pearls?
Not the family jewels.
Yeah, just pearls, not even jewels.
His whole entire reasoning behind this sale of Truth Social is to give the appearance that money is coming, because he knows it's worthless. He knows it's not backed by anything. He knows they have no income coming in. They have debt, millions in the B, billions in debt. Okay, so knowing that, I don't even know how they became a stock to be traded, except for the fact that somebody was willing to come in, investors were willing to come in and buy it. But here's what happened. If you, in the initial public offering, if you are not able to sell that right away, you're screwed. And he had a 6 month, I think it is 6 month deadline. No, he can't do anything with it. So he's double screwed, triple screwed. So he's really this is not going to work out in his favor. He might have to rent all the rooms out at Mar-a-Lago to because it might have to become a hotel to.
Yeah, but is it going to be like
not a resort?
$20,000 for a day or something like that?
Yes, for $20,000 a day to say that you stayed in Trumpville, or he'll rent out his own suite so that you can say you slept in Trump's bed.
But will
And go home with bed bugs.
Will that even buy him enough Diet Cokes to get through a week?
No, he's headed down. No, he is headed downhill. This is just, the brakes are off. He is really in free fall, and not much. You watched how difficult it was for him to even gather the people together for this bond. Didn't have the money to back it up. The company didn't have the money to back the bond up. So therefore, all of that points to his condition. Nobody wants to give him money or help him. He's headed down a dark road now, and there's no way back.
Well, I just keep thinking, how can they even be in a meeting in a room with him if he's so stinky?
Well,
how can they sit around the table? Every time I see a picture of Melania with him, I'm thinking, girl, you've been on vacation from that stink.
She probably
9 months. Now you're back in it.
Probably has
a room with him.
In her nose to.
I bet she loved COVID with the masks because
yes.
Put some Vicks in there.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay.
And that whole lawsuit he's doing about this, it's all a front. He's trying to act like it was worth something.
It's all a front.
Yeah.
Like
I love that the traders are betting against him. And
they're going to win. They're going to be making the money.
And the gist that I got from this article is that the people who are betting against him are actually going to cause the disruption to how they sell these stocks back and forth, that nobody will be able to get their value out of it, because they're selling and letting it out low and hoping that they can get a big return on it. But it's not going to work.
It's like a penny stock now.
Yes.
It's nothing. It's worth nothing. Going nowhere fast. So, it's experts, financial experts and advisors have all weighed in on this, that it's not going to continue. There's nothing solvent in it. There's nothing to continue. So, no.
And what's so ironic is a lot of those conservative Republicans, they watch like the business news and stuff, and they don't just watch Fox. They pay attention to that. So, the jig is up. Like, people know that this is just crap. So I feel bad for him. Okay.
I feel sorry for him.
Yeah, right. Okay. So Carrie, this one's going to you.
Okay.
And this is, the headline said, inside the Biden Netanyahu phone call and a narrowly averted cyber attack. Now, I didn't even get the cyber attack thing, so I was really focusing on the conversation. So Biden said, look, you have to have, what did he say? Specific, measurable, concrete steps to provide civilian protection from harm. And you have to provide humanitarian aid and protection against the suffering of aid workers. And Israel did cop to, the aid workers, and like, oh, good. So you cop to that little baby genocide, but you're not saying anything else you're doing is wrong. Oh, that's not good. And Israel just came up on their own and said, well, we can open a new corridor in northern Gaza and do more to reduce. And then Biden and Blinken also said, and you have to do more to reduce civilian casualties. And the only thing that was missing is Biden didn't outline what would happen if they didn't follow these, except to say that you wouldn't be getting the support and aid that you've been counting on. That's basically what he said. He didn't say whether it was guns or people or ammo or money. He didn't say exactly. And he didn't say if there was going to be something more punitive in place if they failed. So my question is, we know it's just going to go like a shit show, but will this continue, this issue with Gaza, will this continue to plague Biden's approvals with young voters. And will Netanyahu make good on his promise? His track record is not.
No.
He's one of those people that yeses you to death and then does whatever the hell he wants.
Bill Clinton said that. He said he'll listen and act like he's with you and turn around and do exactly what he wants.
Yeah.
Just like my second husband. Yes. I
May
hate
he
that.
rest in pieces.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
From your lips to God's ear. Yeah.
Linda, you did that like such a good Catholic.
I mean,
You
Practice
practice.
movies.
Yeah.
So Sherry, tell me what you think with this.
Well, I started out drawing before you finished your questions, and the first thing I got was Biden's got Netanyahu all tied up.
Oh,
Oh,
He's
good.
boxing him in. He's boxing him in and
good.
making very narrow parameters. You have to be within this corridor. We're going to cut you off. If you don't do this, we're going to cut you off. And I have a feeling that if he pushes it too far, then Biden is going to maybe take more drastic actions. Then I pulled the 7 of Cups. So that's kind of be careful how you're spending your money. And I think that's something that Biden needs to think about. Be careful where you're sending your money to, how you're spending it. Make sure you've got all your T's dotted, all your T's crossed and your I's dotted, so that Netanyahu can't go slipping through the cracks. And then I ended up with a 9 of Pentacles reversed. So that to me seems to say there's a real good chance that Biden's going to end up yanking his money from him. Maybe not cash, but whatever support he's expecting. I think he might try to push it and Biden's going to yank it from him. He's just going to say, no, nope. I told you, you step over the line. I mean, because we got to remember, Biden's a Scorpio.
Yes,
He
is.
goes right along and then the tail comes out and he starts stinging. So,
Well, he also told him, your nation wants a vote in September, and if you don't follow what we're telling you, we're going to come out and say we think there should be a new vote in September. We're going to be for Jerusalem voting, Israel voting again for another person. I think he said something else to him because this guy don't listen. He's like, yeah, I'll do what I want. He wants to wipe out all the Palestinians.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
well, and what really ticks me off is while all of this is playing around, Ken Jared is running around trying to figure out how he can get rid of everybody on the Gaza Strip so he can put up luxury condos on the beach for his rich friends,
I hope Jared and Trump enjoy or Netanyahu enjoy their plane ride to The Hague, because that's where they're going to end up.
Yes.
Well, I always saw
not.
Jared with an orange suit for years. If you guys have been watching, I always saw him as one of the ones that
Me
would
too.
go to jail.
Like father, like son.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Colleen, can I just throw in something that has nothing to do with what we're talking about?
Sure.
I just thought in the chat.
We don't want to hear about your hemorrhoids again.
This is they're open today.
Oh, sorry. Something else?
This is from Jeffrey Stein, and having survived oropharyngeal cancer, this is the month for oropharyngeal cancer awareness. And he says, I wanted to let you know I found out last Tuesday that I have a cancer diagnosis on my tongue and will need to have surgery to remove it. And here's my button for oropharyngeal cancer. No one fights alone. And in the early stages, it's very, very curable. So
Yeah, because I feel like he's going to be okay. Jeffrey, you're going to be okay.
So Jeffrey, I want you to call my office at 847-590-5411. Tell them I said to get you in as soon as possible, and I'll give you a free half-hour session, because I've been through this and I know the fear associated with it.
Yeah.
But let the fear get behind you and push you forward. And my feeling is you're going to pull through this with flying colors.
And Jeffrey, if you need me, just write to me and I'll send you. I'll give you my personal number and we can talk.
Good. Oh, thank you, Mel. Thanks very much. That was
Yeah,
really,
that's
really
very generous.
yeah. Oh, that's great.
But a lot of people are getting that. It's just rampant.
I was just getting ready to say this is like the 4th or 5th person in the past week I've heard come out and say something about getting the cancer on the tongue and having to get surgery. And I was like, I didn't even know that existed.
My doctor told me, the medical oncologist, that when I went in, he said over age 40 or 50, this cancer is epidemic because it's caused from human papillomavirus.
Oh.
And years ago, we didn't have the vaccinations to prevent us from that. And so I'm not a doctor, but Jeffrey, I really think yours is probably due to HPV, human papillomavirus. And I can see us having a conversation and one day saying, hey, you got through this and remember when.
Is that also related to the herpes?
No.
No.
Herpes is different than human papillomavirus. Human papillomavirus causes cervical dysplasia in women.
Yeah, okay, that's right. And Michael Douglas had this.
Yes, exactly. And mine was HPV. Jeffrey, I just want you to know you're not alone in this.
Oh, that's
We
awesome.
love you, Jeff.
Thank you so much.
We're behind you, man. Don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can reach out to anybody. Any one of us will be there.
Yeah.
My office phone number is 847-590-5411. 847-590-5411. We will be there tomorrow. We're not there on Sunday or Monday, but we'll be back on Tuesday. And tell them I said to get you in as soon as possible.
Yeah, and I'm leaving for Texas, but I'll call you when I get back. Send me your number, Jeff.
Very nice.
And I put Mel's number in the chat for you there. So,
all right. And Mel is going to be doing our next question too.
Thanks for letting me do that. I just saw that.
Yes.
Caught my eye.
Oh, thanks. I'm glad you did. So this has been a very horrible, terrible day for Donnie. He had 3 judges in the same day deny his basic premise for arguing his case. Marshawn said, no, you don't have immunity, so we're going to go ahead. McAfee said, no, free speech is not a reason for being able to do the things you did with election interference. And even Aileen Cannon said that he can't escape prosecution arguing the Presidential Records Act, but she did leave the door open for them to argue it later on. So I'm Mel, you're gonna probably do like a double header here. I'll just tell you what all my questions are, and you can just tell me all your answers.
Okay.
So Judge Marshawn and McAfee both rejected Trump's arguments totally. Aren't they getting pissed off? Aren't they just getting angry? I mean, they're being the things that Trump's lawyers are doing are so disrespectful. I've worked for lawyers for years. The amount of almost reverence that people have for the courtroom and the judges.
Yes.
And will Marshawn actually hear the case in 10 days in New York? And will McAfee ever hear the case on Trump and the cohorts? And will Cannon, is she going away? And if she goes away, then what happens? So that's the 2 parters. Cannon is the second part. The first part, I think Marshawn and McAfee kind of go together, or you can separate them, whatever.
Let me go with Eileen Cannon first.
Okay.
When I heard about this, I thought there is something that's not right with this. Oh, yeah. And I watched Glenn Kirshner, and he said on the surface, it appears as if she did Trump a favor, but here's what's really going on. So Kirshner said on the surface, it appears like she did a favor for Jack Smith and the prosecution.
Oh, okay.
But here's what's really going on. I said it wrong. In a way, she was making a rebuttal to what Jack Smith said to her. She wanted a response from him about the whole jury thing. And this was kind of a rebuttal. And then there was about a 1.5 page or 2-page rebuttal that talked about the Presidential Records Act, and this case has nothing to do with that. This case has to do that he committed felony by keeping those records, not returning them, which didn't belong to him. She doesn't get it.
Oh, she gets it.
Oh, she gets it, yes. But what I think she's doing is behind the scenes, she's got Trump's got her in his hip pocket, and she's by what she did this past ruling to make it look like that she's being not biased, but she is. And she's, how can you give jury instructions before you don't have a jury?
Exactly.
And basically the instructions that she's giving, Trump wins from all counts. And if there's a jury trial based on her jury instructions, and if they acquit him, then Jack Smith cannot appeal it. It's Katie bar the door. It's done. What I see Jack Smith doing is bringing this before the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, and they're going to rule that here again, there's no legal precedent for what she's doing. It's clearly out of line with what she's trying to, it's clearly out of line. And I see her removed from this case. I could be wrong, but I see her removed.
Yay.
Okay, Linda, I take it back. She does know what she's doing. She does. As far as the other cases, Judge Marchand, and I see he's not going to put up with any more BS from Trump. All right. And he's going to issue, again, a very, very strict gag order. And if Trump breaks it, he's going to hold Trump in contempt. I ain't talking about a smack on the wrist. I'm talking about house arrest or something like that. He's not going to put up with any nonsense. Trump will threaten to appeal, blah, 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 blah. But this New York case is going to go on, and it's going to happen really quickly. And I see him found guilty.
Good.
My guys have always said the women will bring him down, and that's what's going on. McAfee said, about the whole free speech thing, Trump will appeal that and delay, but ultimately he won't win. So I see, the New York thing coming to trial really, really soon. I think the McAfee thing is going to come to trial, I think, before the election. Cannon is playing right along with Trump to delay and try to delay it after the election, but I see her off this case. So that's what my guides show me.
Well, let me tell you, I feel she'll be exited stage left, but today on the news they were saying Jack Smith didn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. He's got more. So even if they dismiss this, he's got more that he can come back with after he loses the presidential role, and he can get him on those. He didn't put it all in there.
Well,
that's good. That's good.
Yes.
I didn't see that, Linda. That's a good point. But what I do see is there's going to be a couple people that will come forward, whistleblowers or truth sayers, if you will, and it'll be truth what they're saying, that Cannon did in fact hear the Trump lawyers, and that she did in fact, for entertainment purposes only, rule in a way that they wanted her to rule. In other words, there was something in it for her. And there are going to be people that come forward and say that, and she'd better watch her P's and Q's, because at some point I see a thorough investigation of her, and I see some charges filed against her in the future. It'll take a while, but that's what I'm saying.
She's not going to be a justice. She has dreams of being on the Supreme Court.
Oh,
Yeah, she's the bright one.
And the other thing they're not talking about is 2 of her clerks have quit.
Yes.
Yeah. But that was back in September, October, they quit.
Yeah.
She's got a full thing now. But you got to wonder, why the hell would somebody quit? That's like the most prestigious thing you can get.
My light bulb just went on. It's going to be one of those clerks that'll come forward with.
Oh, yes. Sweet
yes.
justice. Oh, that would be great. That would be just great.
It'll be a female clerk who is doing it, because
I think they're both female. I think
Yes.
they're both female.
because they're bringing out the 5 of Swords. They're going to just cut it apart,
Sweet time.
and they're going to work together. Because if there's 2 females, we got the 2 of Cups, which supports that idea of the lovers, but it's just like, ooh, wait, just pop your popcorn, people.
The females,
Nice.
I pulled the magician with the Judge Cannon, doing one thing over here. Well,
Yeah.
magician is the secret will be revealed. And then look, 5 of Swords. The deception, all the stuff going on behind the scenes that will come out.
Yep.
Yeah, I hear you. Oh, thank you, Mel. Oh, I was so anxious to hear that. Now, before we go on, I do have to take a little word from our sponsor. So excuse me one moment. Here we go. This will be less than a minute. Get ready to receive the knowledge. We know before you ask, because we are the real psychics of YouTube. Who are the real psychics of YouTube? What's the matter? Don't know because you're not psychic? That's okay. The real psychics of YouTube are psychic enough for all of you. This is where we answer questions before you even know what they are, and the answers will blow your mind. Get ready for another episode of The Real Psychics of YouTube. Okay, so that show is going to premiere on this channel, on my channel, The Cool Crone, on April 20th.
Who did the voiceover on that?
So
Me.
Colleen and her sexy voice.
You should do.
I mean,
You should do voiceovers professionally.
she is a professional.
I tried to get into the voiceover business when I was in acting school and when I was doing shows and stuff, and I made it as far as singing. So I did recording work and singing, but I never got voiceover work. I would have loved to do.
My psychic prediction says if you get a little agent, they'll get you voiceover work. I'm gonna go for it.
For sure.
Oh, cool! Very cool.
done.
Oh,
That
and
would
then
be a
you can
nice
say,
twist.
we can say, I remember her when.
When? Yes.
And she can dump the lawyers and just, do her own thing.
I'll probably be doing voiceovers for Cialis or something.
Whatever.
Hey, it pays the bills,
They
right?
do pay
Yeah.
the bills. They do pay the
That would be
bills.
stiff competition.
I tried that once. I got stuck on my throat and had a stiff neck for 3 hours.
Oh my god! So when on that show, what we're going to do is each of the psychics will do their own readings, general readings, and the idea is that it's going to hit for the people who are watching. So
Yep.
tune in, find out, be one of the
That's
cool kids.
exciting. Yay.
Yeah, and we'll have guests on too. Hint, hint. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Please come on.
Know what I mean? Know what I mean?
Yep.
Are you looking for volunteers, Colleen?
Yeah, definitely. I want lots of volunteers.
Well, you can sign me up. How's that?
Okay. Okay. now-
Anytime she knows all she has to do is say the word.
All right. So this is the one I think that I wanted to give.
Well, the real psychic housewives of YouTube, well, house husbands too,
Well, it's just the real psychics of YouTube. So it is all inclusive. Absolutely.
I was just looking in the chat.
Yes.
Oh, in the chat? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, we're definitely spoofing the Real Housewives here. Okay. So, Linda, this one's for you. And I know this
Okay.
is one of your favorite topics. Another poll shows Biden trailing in key states. All right. So, yada, yada, yada. They're saying over the last 5 months, Trump held a narrow lead in Arizona, Georgia, Michigan. You've heard it all. And then they're saying, over the last 5 months, Trump's led nearly every poll, and they list a bunch of states. Now, my question is not really a question. Obviously, this is trash talk by New York Times, but other media will follow them. What will it take to stop these polls from being published in major media or stop being taken in these insane ways?
And they've been proven wrong time and time again,
Yeah.
and nobody is listening. I'm going to tell you, when people start writing me about polls, I say, don't even go there. Remember how low Biden's polls were.
Yeah.
And remember how low Obama's polls were. And that's Mitch, whatever his name.
McConnell.
Mitch.
McConnell.
What's his name?
Mitch McConnell.
Mi-
No, the one
Mitt
who ran
Romney.
against Obama.
Oh,
Second
Mitt Romney.
Oh,
Mitt
Mitt
Romney,
Romney.
he thought for sure, he was shocked when he lost because the polls said that Obama was so low.
You know what,
He was
Colleen?
shocked when he lost. So I'm going to tell you right now, take them polls and
Shove
shove
it,
it
right?
because it's not going to happen.
You know, Colleen,
I don't care if China, my guides already told me, they said, oh, China is helping and Russia's in the middle. And I said, I don't care who's helping. Who? Biden's going to win.
you know, Colleen,
Period. End of story.
you know what, Colleen, when you asked that question, I was waiting and I was going to say sick 'em, Linda. I didn't have to say it.
I can't go with those polls.
And we know.
And you know, we did this, and everybody, even when Trump won, everybody was shocked because he wasn't supposed to win. And everybody was like, and why don't they learn your lesson? The polls, you can't trust the polls.
I think they are mainly coming from places like China and Russia and whatever. And I don't think anymore it is this, oh, well, they're calling landlines. I don't think they're calling anybody. I think they're
I
just
never got, did any of you guys get a call from a pollster?
Never.
never.
Even
you know,
if they are legit, which they're not. The bottom line is this is April. We got the whole month of April, May, June, July, August, September. It's almost 7 months before the election. A lot can happen. And when they talk about the polls, who was it the election when the first thing was it when Roosevelt ran against Dewey? And everybody thought Dewey was going to win. Dewey was going to win. And
Yes, they had it in the papers.
yeah, they printed the papers.
Printed the paper.
So
Don't worry, you guys. I don't care. You know, I just know beyond a reasonable doubt, more so than I knew the first time. I knew he wasn't going to win. I knew Biden was going to win because my guide showed me a gray-haired man and a dark-haired woman. But Biden was like a deer in the headlights at the debate. I thought, can it be him? I thought it might be that guy from New York. And then all of a sudden I saw the light around Biden. I said, oh my God, it's him. He's the one that's going to win. I remember when I told everybody, it's Biden. They're like, what? Biden?
I
said,
remember
yes,
that.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Yeah. But do you see that maybe at some point a general tone in the country will turn towards Biden? Or do you think?
Well, you know what's going to really help is he's going to turn on Netanyahu.
Yeah,
That will help.
that will
Really
help.
going to help. He's Netanyahu, I told you guys, is going to cut his nose to spite his face. He's going to do something even more stupid after this. And then I see Biden saying enough.
And I think with some of the outlandish statements, if they could get any more outlandish that Trump has been making against judges and their families and all of that, you know, his numbers are dropping. And so I'm not even worried about the polls at this point. You know, Trump is going to, the more outlandish, the more people are pulling away from him.
Well, psychically, I picked up Putin with his hands in his head. I don't know if you guys saw that video I did.
I did, yeah.
But Putin is because they're trying their best to do fake news and have Trump win. But Trump keeps speaking and he's blowing it. He's cutting his nose to spite his face. And I see Putin doing this. Like, dude, shut up. Just shut up. I even feel the Russian nation is calling his people and saying, can you get him to quit talking? Because the more he talks, the more people are turned off.
And also, Linda, the thing that is happening is Biden is staying consistent in what he's doing what he says he's going to do.
Right.
And that consistency is going to be the thing when all of the stuff with the polls becomes unveiled. People are going to go, oh, you know what? He's actually done what he said he's going to do. So his consistency is a very positive
and his
thing.
job numbers went up again.
We just had,
we just came
job
up
reports, over 330,000 jobs.
It's like the power of the gods are out looking for Biden.
Yeah.
You know, he's running scared, Trump, and that's why he's out there at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yapping.
He's
reading.
He's
Being
reacting.
cruel to people's families and doing all that is a turn on, but it's only a turn on for some people. Most people are like done with it.
Well, creepy guys with orange tans. That's the only one it's a turn on for.
You know, at 3 a.m. in the morning, he's probably taking his 3rd or 4th Adderall.
Yeah, right.
That's true.
Right.
Someone
For
has
the
helped
past
him
hour.
anxiety.
And licking the ketchup off of his fingers.
Yeah.
Ew, ew, what is
And you know, should I say licking the ketchup off his tiny hands? His tiny hands?
Yeah.
You know, and no,
Or
I'm
the
not going to
walls.
put ketchup on these because I like my tiny hands.
Ah, I'll be right back, you guys.
Okay.
Wait.
All right. Well, that's a good segue into this question for Cleo. So, Cleo, again, you know how I love to have positive headlines about Biden, and I love to focus on the student loan relief. So, again, this week we have Biden will try again to wipe out student loan debt for millions of borrowers. That's not millions of dollars, that's millions of borrowers. And so that number is going to be a humongous dollar amount. And as we know, the first time he did the whole thing, the Supreme Court blocked him because he was trying to do too much at one time, which, God, where is the humanity in these people? So blind.
They lost it years
Yeah.
ago.
So, my question is, Cleo, when will we start hearing some good stuff from major media about Biden's efforts? When will major media start reporting on all the amazing things that Biden is doing?
Really. You know, you guys are all talking about the polls. I ran across an article, I think it was, well, it was this week sometime, that had that said that Biden had crept ahead of Trump and Biden was doing great. And I'm like, finally, and I just along with your question, I'm like, finally, they're telling us what's going on. No sooner did I read that, it was almost like somebody flipped a switch, like, oops, I didn't mean to put that out there. And then they come back and they said, oh no, I mean, they didn't say, oh no, to that article, but they suddenly the whole script went back to, oh no, Trump's in the lead, or now they're even Steven or something. And I'm like, well, what the hell happened? And I searched and searched trying to find that same article. It was gone. It was just
You
gone.
can't trust the polls. They're not real. They are just a sampling of people that are going to vote a certain way.
Or
Exactly.
they're made up. They're made up from
Yeah,
China
they're
and
not-
Russia. They're not even related to human bodies.
aren't.
They're just
was-
bot generated crap.
Yeah.
It was yesterday or the day before yesterday that Biden and Bernie Sanders did a major press conference. And I can't remember now what the topic was that they were, it had to do with getting things done, and this had been passed and that had been passed, and now their goal was to work here. It was like a 45-minute conference. Wasn't on any news network, not any. They were all busy talking about crap that Trump had done. And not one of them flipped to, not even MSNBC, not one of them flipped to show what was going on.
Wow. Hey, Mel, did Linda text you? Because she just disappeared. What happened?
She said she would be right back, but
Yeah.
Yeah, but her thing in the down here says devices not connected.
I think she had some trouble with it.
Okay.
Oh.
I mean, don't worry about it, Mel. It's fine. If she can come back before we end, that's great. If not, I mean, you know, whatever. It's fine. Okay, so Gerald, I do have a question for you.
Wait.
Oh, you're not done.
Leo's not done yet.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm
Madam-
so sorry. Excuse me. I
Madam Cleo
apologize.
is not done.
The thing about the media finally turning things around and starting to let us know what Biden's doing, it is coming. I see it coming, because they can't just keep talking about Trump and acting like Trump's doing so well, because Trump just keeps doing more and more stupid things. You guys were talking about these different judges, that how they were, hey, Linda, how they were coming, how they weren't putting up with him anymore. Well, one of the things was he's trying to say something. God, what was it about the Stormy Daniels thing? I think, which is coming up this month, right?
Yeah.
And so they were trying to say that he was trying to say that he had some kind of immunity, or he had presidential this or that. Stormy Daniels' case has absolutely nothing to do with that.
Right.
And so, the judge said, "Oh no, please, no, we're having the trial in April, and that doesn't, I mean, he keeps coming up. His attorneys, apparently, I don't know what's the deal. His attorneys, are they real lawyers? I mean, they keep coming up with different things, trying to delay stuff. But when it's gotten so ridiculous that it doesn't have anything to do with the case.
Yeah.
All of these.
Well, he wanted the guy, he wanted Marchand removed because Marchand's daughter has done work for the Democratic Party and has worked with, I think, Kamala Harris, whatever. So clearly there is a conflict of interest.
But has she actually done that? She works for an advertising company or something.
Yes, she worked for an advertising firm. Yeah, that did work for the Democratic Party. That's what she does. That's her thing. It has nothing to do with her father.
And she lives like in Chicago or something. She doesn't even live in New York, so she's not like in her father's ear every 5 minutes.
Yeah, there's
just more BS.
And eventually the media has to start saying stuff because, I mean, in Biden's favor. You know what? But, even if they didn't, I think that the rest of the country is watching this closer and closer and thinking, something just doesn't feel right. And they just, even if they can't get 100% behind Biden, they can get away from Trump. They're just, because too many reports of important, knowledgeable people are saying, this could be such a disaster to have Trump, become president again, that I don't think, I think Trump does not have a chance in hell. I mean, he keeps saying he does, but it's based on just him saying that. There is no concrete evidence that anything he's doing is for the American people or for this country and this make America great again. That's what he said back in 2016. What the hell did he do? Nothing. Exactly. He created a bigger deficit. He screwed up on COVID. Millions of people died. That whole thing. Yeah. So will the media finally turn around? They have to. They have to. Eventually,
and that's where it's so important for us to just memorize 10 points that Biden said he was going to do and accomplished.
Yeah.
And then that way, when you get hit with somebody saying, well, he hadn't done anything for me, you can go, well, he did this, and then he did this, and then he said he was going to do this, and he finished it up. And, so.
Yeah.
And he just outdid himself with the number of jobs that have come up again.
Yeah, again, we have this month over 300,000 new jobs.
I have to interject something, though.
Yeah.
You guys are rationalizing, and I'm all on your side, irrational behavior. You cannot rationalize Trump's irrational behavior.
This is true. He's
playing on xenophobia.
Yep.
Hitler said, I'll make Germany great again. And Trump has taken stuff as a playbook from Mein Kampf. In German, Mein Kampf means my struggles that Hitler wrote in jail. And a lot of that is coming from Putin as well. Mm-hmm. So Trump's small base has drunk the Kool-Aid.
Yep.
And you can try and share, you're right. You can give all the points that Biden has done, blah, blah, blah. A few might.
They don't hear it.
But most of them like to drink the Kool-Aid because it plays to their own internal bigotry and their own internal xenophobia and all of that. That small group that would like to take America back 70 years and make it a white, upper middle class man's country.
Yeah, but this whole abortion thing is the thing that's going to kill them. Just
Absolutely.
the minute the Supreme Court went against Roe versus, I said that is a sleeping giant. That will give Biden. He will be that going against gay rights and going because a lot of families have gay. I have a gay sister, Mel. I don't know if you know that, but
She must be borrowed her dress.
Yes. Mm-hmm. You makeup tips, but also the cutting of Social Security. They're talking trash and they don't realize a lot of people need that Social Security check.
Absolutely.
It's our damn money.
And don't forget,
Social
Security is not an entitlement. That's something everybody has paid into, nor is Medicare. And just for
it's an insurance
you pay
policy.
for Medicare. It's not free.
Yeah.
They're not going to get me back to pole dancing again. I'm going to tell you right now.
Trump is having a hard time campaigning. He can't raise any money. That's indicative of not being
And the
popular.
good news is Trump doesn't go up. He doesn't go up in the polls. He's just status quo.
Yeah.
And I think that by what all you guys are talking about, all the differences, that is what's going to change things in the media eventually. I mean, you know, they can. There, it's going to be embarrassing. Well, it already is the way Fox News.
Right, and he's a circus act, Cleo. He's a circus act. And the MSNBC and all those places that do have some real intelligent conversations, they're getting money for him. He gives them, he pays them money. All of us doing this gig right now, part of the reason is because of Trump, because people are so afraid of him. Tell us, you guys, that this guy isn't going to make it, because they need to be assured.
Yes.
They just need to know, are you sure he's not going to win?
Well,
Yes.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You know, I think for a while there's a certain group of Americans, present company excluded, the majority of us, who have kept our common sense. That ultra right-wing Christian nationalism, I think here again, they're drunk on the Kool-Aid. They've lost their common sense. Do you see a time when we'll get our common sense back as a nation?
Slowly, when they lose again, when the Republicans lose again, and it's going to be pretty significant loss.
Yeah.
Because if you notice, every special occasion, Democrats are winning. That's because they're pushing away that Republican stuff. So then when Trump passes, and he will sooner than later, when he's no longer significant, it doesn't have to be a physical passing. It could be he takes off to another country passing. Then I see all of them kind of waking up. Like, wait a second.
Waking
And
up.
just today in the news, they had one of the Trump-loving representatives in one of the southern states had this big blow up and was talking to the press about how IVF, people using IVF to have babies, surrogates, that kind of stuff, was evil.
Sorry, I didn't.
Okay, that it was evil. It was done by evil people, and that they needed to outlaw it. And anybody that contributed in any way, shape, or form with IVF or surrogacy or anything like that needed to be arrested and put in jail. I was like, oh my God, talk about shoot yourself in your foot.
And I want to add part of what everybody is saying.
Okay, baby, hold on.
I firmly believe it's the women who are going to bring back common sense.
Yes, thank you.
Because there's a quiet strength about women, period. Just in general, and there's a sense of unity that is happening, and they're like going, really you're going to try to do this to us? And they're
and there's a lot of good men out there that don't want their daughters to carry the rapist baby.
Absolutely. So I firmly believe it's the divine feminine that is going to show up, and I'm saying that specifically for that approach, not just women, but men who embody that, who are going to create that upheaval that is needed for things to start settling down.
I agree.
You know, my guys told me the other day, and I hated hearing it, but they said again, we must forgive Trump and all the people around him, and circle them with the white light, and know that this too shall pass. And I think if we show a little mercy, I know people get mad, but say, yeah, you followed that yellow brick road, you know, him you don't have to necessarily, but the people, and we open arms and allow them in, then it might be okay.
Yeah. You know, but the problem with the select group that Mel was talking about, will they ever change their minds? I don't think they will. I mean, you know, that they are so stuck to this belief.
Yeah, and the Trump thing brought it out.
Yes.
They were already white nationalists.
Yeah, they just can't turn around and admit they were wrong.
I think they'll crawl back in the woodwork, absolutely. But Gerald, you just kind of reiterated what my guys have been telling me with Trump. The women will bring him down. And I'm going to add to that. I'm going to say Gerald says, because the women will bring people back to their common sense. And I agree. It's that divine feminine. I agree with you.
You guys, I have to go. I have that show with Andre.
Linda, Linda,
Thank you, Linda.
Linda.
Thank you, Linda.
You don't have to pole dance. You can fan dance. Okay,
The
it's
thing is
easier.
that it's on a telephone pole, and I hate those damn
Yeah,
splinters. I
you can
guess.
just use it to slide down.
They're the worst.
Thank you,
Thank you
babe.
so much,
Bye-bye.
Linda. See you later. Bye-bye.
Hi, Linda.
Somebody asked, Rose Blue said, I love this because if Alabama says that embryos are children, Rose Blue said, can you claim frozen embryos on your taxes?
Yeah, because I mean, if they're
Should be able to.
You know what? I will say that I heard from my guides, not when was it, a couple of weeks ago, that they said out of the blue, I mean, I don't even think about this because they said Kamala Harris is going to make a great president.
Yes.
And so there's that feminine influence because,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, she's really good. And I think that once Neptune is no longer in Pisces, because Neptune in Pisces literally rules cults. And we have seen the rise of all of this cult-like behavior, not just with Trump, but in other kinds of cults like evangelicalism, right? We've seen this rise for the whole period that Neptune has been in Pisces.
yes.
The Tea Party, I mean, those kinds of examples. And it's going to go into Aries in, I just lost it. When does it go into Aries? April, 1 year from now, April of 2025. So
wow.
1 year from now, when
Awesome.
Neptune goes into Aries, we'll have that clarity of the self.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say it's going to be, June 1st or April 1st of, 2025, but that's when the fog will lift. So we should all get a good book on deprogramming people who have been in cults. I'm serious, actually, because
Yeah.
then you can talk to
awful.
people.
I mean,
And
it's
then you
really true. But
Yeah.
deprogramming, I think they'd have to be sent to a deprogramming institute.
Well, I've been saying for over a year that the best, if you want to get into a new healthcare industry, deprogramming of cults
Yes.
is probably going to be
Yeah.
very popular
Mhm.
because a lot of people are going to have problems with this. And I
Well,
think
it's their
that's
whole
right.
foundation. That's their
Yeah.
whole life. They
It's their whole
created
identity. Yeah.
their whole identity.
I think what Linda said is we have to practice forgiveness.
Yes. I was just
And to all of these people because they know not what they do. They just they've
Well,
been
I
sucked into
think
it.
they do know what they do. I just think some of them it appeals to their bigotry and their prejudice that they have had to hold inside. And now Trump gave a wink and a nod that it's okay to let that out. But that tiger will be put back in the cage.
Isn't that true?
It's
And
all about self-love, and they had terrible childhoods, and I'm sure they were raised in a harsh environment.
But
And
there are
they're-
some people who weren't,
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
And
I mean, and forgiving doesn't mean forgetting or condoning bad behavior.
Yes.
That's it.
We don't accept
And there are a lot of people that grow up in really harsh conditions that turn into
No, but I mean, it's
wonderful
it's
people.
easier. You have a choice when you when you come into a situation and when you incarnate and you decide, oh, I'm going to bring in these lessons. And your choice point is, do I perpetuate it or do I break from it?
And-
So
yeah.
that is each soul's choice on the journey. And later they might break from it.
part of it
That's
also
where-
is when this
No.
happens, they're not held accountable
Yeah.
for
Right.
what they're feeling and what they're doing and what they're saying because they're someone else is taking the hit for it.
well, and that's the attraction part of it.
Yes.
It's people who want somebody else to make decisions for them, but not always. I mean, sometimes they just are vulnerable people who don't make good decisions. Well, something else I wanted to say about the cult aspect is I think, Mel, going back to something you were saying, I think it's kind of like a two-layer thing. I think those people at the top who like the power and like everything that's going on, they know very well that this is a lie. They know very well that they're
They don't
lying to
care.
people and manipulating people.
Right.
And then the people under them are the people who are more vulnerable and more easily manipulated. Those are the people who are going to need the deprogramming. The people who are up on the top tier, they just need to go to jail.
It's called brainwashing.
Yes,
And the way
brainwashing.
it works
Yeah.
is like how cults work. They play on people's fear. They get them to react emotionally. And when you're acting emotionally, you suspend your critical thinking. And that's what Trump does to certain people. They suspend their critical thinking. They get angry. They get fearful. They're trying to take over our country. We have to stand up and fight against it. You know, that's that fear response he evokes in some people. And Colleen, you're right. At the very top, they know they're manipulating. Trump knew he was lying. He didn't care. That's the sociopathy of the whole thing.
Yeah. And to go back to what Val was saying, he did make a choice, because when he was a youth, he was taken to the Norman Vincent Peale Church, right? Norman Vincent Peale wasn't about cults. He was about positive thinking and a positive outcome, and helping people to come out, to lift themselves up. But Trump, and I dare say his father, made the choice that this would be a great way to just get more money than anybody else and manipulate people to do what we want.
Right.
So it was their choice.
And Trump was also very much influenced by his father's attorney, Cohen.
Oh, Roy Cohn, yeah.
Yes, who ended up being Trump's attorney as well. And he had his own set of things that he kind of allowed Trump to believe.
Sure.
And it got to and it got to the point that, when Trump is appealing to you, he's not appealing to your compassionate side. He's appealing to the, you know what? The reason that you don't feel good about yourself is because they did that to you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They are responsible for what you're going through. It's not you. You're perfect the way you are. They are responsible.
They have to create an other.
Yes, because everybody likes to group together against the other.
Right. It's tribalism. It's exactly what's going on.
Tribalism,
yeah.
So here's the deal. Let's say, you know, I had a vision before we started this show of Trump's assets being seized and all of his buildings crumbling down. And when he ends up being totally down and out, and, you know, however, what do the people the ultra right-wing Christian nationalist who supported him hook, line, and sinker, at the end of the day, when somebody's asked about it, they could say, yes, I did, but he made me do it. They can blame it on him.
Yeah. Exactly.
Rather than them saying, wait a minute, I was brainwashed and I take responsibility for my behavior, and I'm really sorry for that, but I'll work to make sure that something like that doesn't happen again. Some people will do that, but most of them will blame him.
No, they want a daddy, and they want a daddy figure who's going to be to control everything. That authoritarian rule where daddy will do everything and give us everything, and we just have to do what daddy wants.
Well, he's pretty much let everybody know that he'll be an authoritarian. And the right-wing MAGAs go for that, and they talk about preserving democracy. Hello, I mean,
because once he becomes a dictator, he's going to go after everyone else. He's not going to come after me because I've always supported him.
Right.
That they believe that he will do things to other people, but that it doesn't apply to them. Like MAGA are not afraid of losing Social Security because he would never take it away from them.
Like there's some disconnect. You're exactly right, Marina. There's some disconnect between how they don't somehow that's not going to affect them.
Yes.
But
it's everybody else. It's not me. And I see him in a lot of ways. I can see some of the stuff that Netanyahu is doing now, where bombing the world kitchen. Oh, so sorry, that was wrong. Well, people are dead, and now all of a sudden you're sorry. So I hope that Biden takes a real hard line with Netanyahu and says, okay, all right, I'll give you that one. If it happens again,
I can tell you what's going on. Stalin said this, and it's chilling. You know, Hitler killed 10 or 11 million people. Stalin, they lost count. It could have been up to 20 or 40 million.
Yes.
And starved the Ukrainians. But Stalin said, one person dying, how do you say it? I forget how I say it. One person dying, I'm misquoting it, is sad. 1 million dying is the statistic.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's how Trump looks at things. That's
Mhm.
exactly how Netanyahu looks at things.
Yes.
And so in this country, many of us are saying, we don't like Netanyahu. I support Israel. I do not support Netanyahu.
Yes.
But yet, and even some of the MAGAs are supporting Israel, but yet they might not like Netanyahu. However, Donald Trump is preaching the same rhetoric.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And they don't see it as being the same. They see it as being different
Because it's because it's us and them.
in them.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
That whole thing of not understanding what's wrong with Trump or Netanyahu or any sort of authoritarian figure, that's just denial. That's just like rationalizing your choices and being in denial about reality.
Yeah,
That's-
the death of one man is a tragedy, I think. Yeah, the death of 1 million is a statistic.
Yeah.
Oh, the one I found said a single death is a tragedy, 1 million deaths are a statistic, but
It's kind of
same
the
thing.
Close
I
enough.
thought you said it fine, so I wasn't going to say anything. Yeah. So, do we have time for one more question?
Sure.
Sure.
Oh, look at you guys. You're so game. I love you. Thank you. Okay. So this one is going to be for Gerald. And Gerald, we're going to talk, and I think we already talked about her yesterday, but we'll talk about her again. We're going to talk about Lauren Boebert and her little surgery that she had to have. God, I bet she was pissed that her leg got all swollen.
You mean babies, Bibles, and Jesus.
Bibles, babies,
and guns.
That's right. So, is this going to affect her long term? I mean, is she going to have some sort of like catharsis or revelation about her life due to this health crisis? What's going to go on with her?
A come to Jesus moment.
Yes.
Is she also the one that had a little bit too much to drink at one of the Trump rallies?
Well, yes, I think
just
she
recently.
was one of those girls who had too much to drink.
Someone just posted that in chat.
And I think she also was the person who was feeling up and getting felt up by her boyfriend at a Beetlejuice concert.
Correct.
That would be the same one. Yep. And at that same function where she was drunk, she was doing her very best to try to get her picture taken with Donald Trump, to the point that his security personnel had to come by and say, basta, like, just no, go sit down.
Yeah.
Oh, that must have buttered her biscuits.
I mean,
talking about buttering biscuits. What? Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, Gerald. Take it away.
I actually think it will have an impact on her because because there's a vulnerability about not, being unalive when it's not expected. It's going to keep following her around. It's going to be the reminder of the
of a life well lived.
Well, that she's not invincible. And so
she's mortal.
She's mortal. And one of the things that I actually see is she's not sure how she's going to react with this, because if she wants to go against what she has done before, how's that going to make her look? So there's this delicate balance of how do you completely switch gears, or how do you pull off the side of the road so that you can get out of the chaos. There's a lot of people who are going to be adding pressure to her, and they're going to be, you need to do this, you need to do this. I think one of the things that's going to happen is too many people are going to ask her to do something, and then she's going to crack.
Yeah.
She's just going to crack, and she's just like going to, we're not going to see her. She's going to like fall off the face of the earth, perhaps. So
how long will that take?
Yeah.
Tomorrow at 2:30. No teasing.
Is it a year or?
Well,
At
actually,
1:22 p.m.
well, what's interesting is she's stronger than she's fairly strong. She's strong-willed, and but there's going to have to be some more medical things that are just going to have to slow her down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to take 2 or 3 other doctors and looking at it, because suddenly it's like, oh, and I'm sorry to say this, I see some stuff happening in August for her.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take that long.
I just looked it up. That's what I'm doing. She was diagnosed as May-Thurner syndrome, and it says the iliac vein compression syndrome. Let's see, where the left common iliac vein is compressed by the right common iliac artery, which was down lower in the leg. Let's see, which causes blood to back up, and it causes blood clots. It is treatable. So that's what I'm seeing here. It depends on how severe it is. But
They probably don't want you to drink alcohol.
right.
Yes.
It can require surgery or interventional radiology. So
Yeah. Didn't they used to call that thrombosis?
Yeah, you know that.
thrombosis is like a DVT. DVT is a deep vein thrombosis, and a thrombosis is a blood clot. This is different. It's the artery that's compressing the vein, which veins bring blood back to the heart. So if it can't, it pools and then it can clot, and that's what happened.
So something mechanically is like not cool in her body, because she's a young woman. She's healthy. She's apparently healthy, and she's not, doesn't appear to have, like, she's not overweight or anything. She's like, this is a girl that probably does yoga and runs, like, why would somebody like that have this kind of issue? That's weird. Maybe it's hereditary. I don't know.
Let me look.
It is going to, it's going to disrupt quite significantly the way she's feeling about things, and it's going to and I know this is a typical thing, and they're going, well, gee, Gerald, that's really smart. It is going to force her to think and feel differently, which is at that time it's going to propel her to really do that examining.
Well, forcing her to think, that's going to be like a complete new world right there.
I know, you heard it here first, everybody.
Yeah.
She has some really good doctors. And
I think she's one of those ones that really does know that all of this is a sham. So I think she's going to
absolutely.
I think she's going to have a good, hard, long look in the mirror and decide, how she wants her biscuits buttered. She's going to have to think about that.
Yeah.
I know when we first heard about it, my initial feeling was that this was, it struck me that it was in her leg, and you need your legs, to support your body, but also to move forward. And I thought, this is the universe's way of stopping her in her tracks and kind of saying, no, you're not going to go any further. There's still some work back here that you have to do. But that, karmically, that's kind of what struck me. So, I
like the idea of stopping her in her tracks.
Yeah.
I don't know if she'll ever get it, like that what she's doing is wrong. I think she's so convinced she's right. But if she is
convinced she's right, but she's
playing a game. She has the sense of, I'm going to ride this wave as long as I can. That's how I see her when I tune in.
It's a get rich quick scheme in her mind.
Exactly. She says, this came to me, I'm going to ride it.
Do we know if it's the right or the left leg? Because the left leg is usually, your past catching up with you, or not letting.
I know that it's the right iliac artery compressing the right iliac vein. I would assume it's.
So it's her right leg.
I would assume. I don't know, but
okay.
But I like what you said, Marina. It's about paying attention to where you're walking.
Yeah.
And if she goes back to that nonsense, you know, I see ultimately this getting more severe so that at some point she's not even going to be able to carry on the schedule like she's doing now. It could very well be an end to her career.
If she has to keep going to get medical intervention for a leg swelling up, it could very definitely interfere.
But it could keep happening.
Yeah, it can
It could.
continuously.
It could.
I looked at her chart last night when we were on another show, and caffeinated and unfiltered for those of you who are curious. And if this continues to upset her lifestyle and she has to drop out of politics, if it continues for about 3 more years, then she'll be coming up on an astrological configuration that will cause her to literally examine her life very closely and to make a big switch. Usually people will either go way materialistic and decide that, you know, they're getting old and they need to have a younger boyfriend or girlfriend, and they need to have, you know, fast cars and fancy clothes and lots of diamonds and you know, that shit. Or she could go the route of, I'm going to clean up my act. I'm going to find my own spiritual center, and I'm going to stop being a shithead around all these people. So she could go either way. She's got a lot of Sagittarius in her chart, and Sagittarius take a long time to mature.
Yeah.
My fear is she does clean up her act, but there's a part of me, and I don't want to sound skeptical, that says I doubt that she will.
You know, you never know. When somebody hits a Uranus opposition, that she will when she's about 44, between 43 and 44 and a half, that's when she'll hit that. People do surprising things, and Sagittarians in particular can do surprising things. So I don't know. Wouldn't write her off yet. You never know. But, you know, the other thing that Linda was saying about, you know, we should put people in the light. I do believe that. I do believe that Trump is far enough gone now that I have no problem sending him light.
I do. I send all the leaders light.
Yes, yes, because we need them to go to a better place. And if that better place is a jail, so be it. But you know, they need help. And I'm certainly not going to contribute to his campaign or his legal funds, but they need light.
Yeah, it's really about sending light all around the world, and they're part of the world. So you certainly are sending light to them.
I will send her prayers that she does change her ways, and I'll send prayers for her complete recovery. It doesn't mean I have to condone her political behavior.
Oh no,
That is correct.
and neither does sending the light. We're not.
Right.
It's impersonal, and it's not in any way, shape, or form making a judgment.
Right.
It's just enlightening them. Enlightening.
Happens. Anyway, I've got to run, everybody.
Okay, Mel, thank you so much. Thanks for being with us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Mel.
Another invite from me.
Bye, Mel.
Take care.
Let's do this again. I love it.
Oh, thank you, Mel. I'll invite you again, definitely. Thank
Thanks.
you. Bye.
Bye.
And then there were 6.
And then there's,
Okay. So it is 1:23, and I'm determined not to go to an hour 30. So I am going to wrap this up. Even if it's 2 minutes before. I'm just really, really trying to keep it shorter. So does anybody have anything to add about, you know, any of the, like Lauren or, you know, Stinky Pants or, you know, any of those things?
I just want to say for Lauren Boebert, I just get the sense of a shallowness in her, and I don't know how when she's 43 or however old she is that it hits her, and she may look at what she's done with her life, but it's probably not going to make her a mature human being. It may make her stop and take a little bit deeper look. But I don't see her going full boat shadow working or anything like that.
I think that she's a person that I think is here's what I really think about her
Okay.
I think she's fooling herself. I think she thinks
Yeah.
she knows, and here these things are all lies and she's getting a good ride and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And I think by playing the double agent like that, I think it's really going to hit her hard.
Oh, maybe so.
I think
Because her
that
heart won't actually be in everything as she's having all these health issues. So it's that feeling of, oh, what am I doing?
or
I'm
what if I
actually-
die? What if I die and I
die.
have to meet my maker? That's the one that everybody says, right?
Yeah.
And what am I going to do? What am I going to say at the pearly gates? All of that
There
kind
is
of,
that. Yeah.
kind of stereotypical religious blah, blah that everybody says.
Yeah. When God says, hey, have you met my son? Apparently you've been trash talking his book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You've been
exactly.
misquoting him.
Exactly.
I'm a little annoyed.
And she, she really thinks she's a smarty pants. She really thinks that she's way ahead of everybody else and nobody gets her. But I think because of that double dealing that she's doing, she's in total denial about who she is, what she really wants, what's going on. She doesn't appreciate her own body and herself. That's why her body's rebelling. She's got this crap marriage and she's got difficult relationships with her children. And I think that she is a part of the cult too and doesn't realize it.
Yeah.
And I think when she finally wakes up, I think it's going to shatter her if she can admit it. And I think she can. I think she can, because who's going to be there? She's going to divorce her husband. What
Well,
she's going to have?
isn't she
Yeah, they're
already
already
divorced?
separated. I think.
And a
Yeah.
series of boyfriends. And what about her kids? Doesn't she want to have a relationship with her kids? I mean,
They are a means to an end. They always were.
Yeah, I don't see her.
so maybe she is too shallow. Okay.
I agree, Marina, because if you're going to really care about your children, you're not going to be doing any of this, period.
Unless you have been abused in your life and you are thinking that your only worth is as a sexual being, and this is the more beautiful you can be, the more alluring, the more you can trap men into your power, the more you can snag a rich husband. But that is a house of cards that falls down once you get really sick. And you see yourself morning after morning without the makeup, without the false eyelashes, the Botox wears off, the dye runs off the hair. And you look at yourself and you go, wow, that's who's underneath all of that.
Exactly.
Because Sagittarians are truth seekers by nature. And she's done a hell of a good job covering up all of that stuff. I'd be dying to know what time of day she was born. But anyway, I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt because, I think she thinks that she's playing everybody, but I think she's playing herself. I think she's fucking herself over.
Yeah.
Totally.
Anyway.
Totally.
I mean,
On
that note, yeah.
Anybody else have anything to add? Go ahead. Okay. Well, thank you.
I'm good.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone in the chat. This was a really exciting chat tonight. I actually got to answer a few questions. And I was probably like 45 minutes too late in the chat for what they were wanting, but my answer's there. Thank you for playing PoliTarology with me, you guys. I really appreciate it. And thanks for watching my trailer twice and, not just, laughing and pointing.
Well, you only played it once.
Great. It was
I
great.
played it before. I played it backstage too.
Yeah.
So thank you. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. And I really appreciate everyone watching us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for everybody's channel because it helps us so much. And we collectively, we are all small channels. We're not like Linda and Mel. We really need each of you to actually subscribe to every one of our channels. We need it so bad. So I'm begging. I'm just shamelessly begging. I want all of you to do this. And if you do it, I'll grant you 3 wishes. No, I don't know.
Something good will happen to you.
You
This
will
was-
feel wonderful if
There you go.
do it.
There you go,
Yeah.
Sherry. Yeah,
There
you
you
will feel so wonderful. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to
Bye, everybody.
video, and we're going to hit the road. Here we go.